Hello and welcome everyone on this official platform of Legacy IAS Academy. What if I told you that the next great war might not begin with tanks rolling across the borders or the missiles lighting up in the sky, but with the plastic drones which is silently taking off from a shipping container? Ji haan. A war that starts not at the front line but inside the enemy territory. No warning, no pilot, no escape. And from the muddy trenches of the World War I to the today's shadow sky filled with the buzzing quadcopters. So the battlefield has moved in different ways that the generals of yesterday could never imagine. So in this video, we unravel the fascinating, terrifying and game-changing evolution of warfare from the thunder of machine guns in 1914, that is First World War, to the Ukraine spider web operation in 2025 that caught one of the world's most powerful militaries off guard. Now, why did France's massive Maginot Line crumble like sand in First World War and Second World War? And what happened when Germany launched the world's first ballistic missile? And how are cheap commercial drones now rewriting the rules of war? So stay with me, because by the end of this video, you will understand not just history but the future of war. And trust me, it is closer to your doorstep than you think. So what happened recently? Abhi recently में क्या हुआ? So let me tell you that there is wonderful article in Indian Express, है ना? एक बहुत ही अच्छा article आया हुआ है, as you can see here. So this is the article in Indian Express: changing geometries of battlefield from machine guns in First World War to the drones today. Ji haan. So what is the context of the news here? So let's try to understand the context. So let me tell you what happened recently. Ukraine has launched a surprise drone attack inside the Russia, which is known as Operation Spider Web. जी हाँ, यूक्रेन ने कौन सा ऑपरेशन किया? स्पाइडर वेब, है ना? It may have fundamentally transformed inside the Russia only. And it is said that around 150 cheap quadcopter drones were smuggled into Russia and they have launched from shipping containers. इनको कहां से लॉन्च किया गया? शिपिंग कंटेनर से. And these drones have destroyed the Russian bomber aircraft. तो ये किस तरीके का अटैक है? This was like Trojan horse attack. अब ये Trojan horse attack क्या होता है? It is a surprise from inside the country only. जी हाँ, it is like a Trojan horse attack. As you can see here, this word is mentioned, है ना? So this Trojan horse attack means this is a surprise attack from inside the country only. Now, this news, this attack, this shows that how the shape and rules of warfare are changing again. है ना? तो अब इसी से रिलेटेड एक हिस्ट्री दी हुई है, हिस्टोरिकल व्यू दिया हुआ है. नाउ व्हाट इज गिवन? हिस्ट्री शोज दैट आर्मीज ऑफन रिएक्ट टू स्लोली टू द न्यू टेक्नोलॉजी. जी हाँ, दैट इज करेक्ट ऑल्सो, दैट आर्मीज रिएक्ट ऑफन टू स्लोली टू द टेक्नोलॉजीज. ओके, नाउ so here we are going to take the various events as well as various examples. Okay, now first of all, so when you see military, so military often take time to understand and adapt with the new weapons. Now this delay can cause huge losses as seen in the past. Now if I take the example of First World War, as you can see the image here, it is mentioned in the newspaper also. मशीन गन्स जो यूज हुई थी फर्स्ट वर्ल्ड वॉर, मशीन गन्स चेंज दी वॉरफेयर. जी हाँ, इन फर्स्ट वर्ल्ड वॉर मशीन गन्स चेंज दी वॉरफेयर. नाउ हु इन्वेंटेड मशीन गन्स? सो मशीन गन्स वर इन्वेंटेड बाय हिरम मैक्सिम इन 1883. दिस इज गिवन इन द न्यूज आल्सो, है ना? एज यू कैन सी हियर, सो मशीन गन्स आर इन्वेंटेड बाय, एज यू कैन सी हियर, अमेरिकन Hiram Maxim in 1883. The machine gun was force multiplier that made centuries of military wisdom obsolete. है ना? and they could shoot much faster than the rifles, a force multiplier, and a few machine guns could hold off hundreds of soldiers. And that is why this led to the trench warfare and stalemate on the Western Front. Now, जो अब generals थे, now the generals, so these generals who were there, they have used old tactics. जी हाँ, the generals used old tactics and sent soldiers in the waves, which led to the mass death. Now, if I take the casualty example in First World War, अगर मैं casualty example लूं, है ना, First World War में, तो casualty example क्या होगा? तो कुछ डेटा भी दिया हुआ है न्यूज़पेपर में. So let me show you the newspaper. So as you can see here, casualty example here. Enormous losses in August and September 1914. जी हाँ, in August to September 1914, France lost around 3,29,000 men. जी हाँ, and that is true that France lost 3,29,000 men. Okay. Okay. Now in Verdun from February to April 1916, losses were 1,11,000. losses कितने थे, है ना? तो अब यही धीरे धीरे करके आप देखेंगे that casualties बढ़ती चली जाएंगी. Clear? So as you can see here, 1,11,000 were the losses. अब ये क्या शो कर रहा है? This shows that early in the war, armies suffered huge losses because they did not understand the power of machine guns. That is why, according to US Army, Major Jack R. Norstein, अब इन्होंने क्या कहा? According to him, almost all new technologies in First World War was designed to deal with the machine guns, and machine guns radically changed military strategies also. Then after that, what happened in Second World War? अब Second World War में क्या हुआ? Now let's try to understand about the event of Second World War. In Second World War, tanks as well as aircrafts. Now these tanks and aircraft made war fast in Second World War. So before Second World War, France built the Maginot Line. France ने क्या बना लिया था? Maginot Line. As you can see here, in 1930s, France resources to construct the Maginot Line, है ना? That is unbreachable defensive line on its border. So France built the Maginot Line, which is very huge fortified defense line on its border with Germany. Now, but in May 1940, Germany invaded France using the Belgrade's tactics. जर्मनी ने इन्वेड किया फ्रांस को यूजिंग बिलग्रेड्स टैक्टिक्स. अब ये क्या है? एज यू कैन सी हियर, लाइटनिंग वॉर टैक्टिक्स. अब इसका मतलब क्या है? दैट मींस Belgrade's tactics. So Germany invaded France in May 1940 using the Belgrade tactics. Now that is fast Panzer tanks, motorized infantry, and then Luftwaffe bombers as well as deep raids were done. Now instead of attacking the Maginot Line directly, Germans went through Belgium and Luxembourg. Germans किसके through आए? Belgium and Luxembourg, which were less defended. Now that is why in Second World War France fell in just about a month. Invasion on May 10th and Paris was captured on 15th June. Now that is why at that time French Premier Paul Renaud, he said that this was a new kind of warfare which is using the armored divisions, fighter planes as well as paratroopers raiding deep into the enemy areas. Now this has changed the battlefield again. Now war was mobile as well as fast and the front line could shift rapidly. Now what happened 1944 onwards? Now, so 1944 onwards, what happened? Long range attacks begins. कैसे? On September 8, 1944, जी हाँ, on 8 September, as you can see here, everything changed when a German V2 rocket hit London on 8 September 1944. So on 8 September 1944, Germany hit London with V2 rocket, the world's first ballistic missile. V2 rocket क्या है? This is world's first true ballistic missile. समझ में आ रहा है? So this type of missile flies into the space and falls back on target. No pilot needed. इसके लिए कोई पायलट की जरूरत नहीं है. Now what is the goal of this missile? So the goal here is fight from far away, avoid losing the pilots and make attacks hard to stop. Now यही अब चीजें हो रही हैं ड्रोन्स के साथ. ड्रोन नाउ विच हैज बिकम अ न्यू फेस ऑफ वॉर. अब ये जो चीजें हो रही हैं ड्रोन्स की, नाउ ड्रोन्स हैज बिकम अ न्यू फेस ऑफ वॉर. तो अब हम बात करेंगे ड्रोन्स के बारे में एज वेल एज द एडेप्टेबिलिटी एंड टेक्नोलॉजी, सभी चीजों के बारे में हम बात करेंगे. तो अब ड्रोन्स क्या हो गए? ड्रोन्स नाउ ग्रेजुअली इट हैज बिकम अ न्यू फेस ऑफ वॉर. Drones are like reusable missiles but controlled in real time by humans only. They can stay in the air, है ना, that is loiter. They can wait for the perfect movement. They can strike precisely, है ना. So earlier drone had to be launched from your own territory, but in June 2025 Ukraine launched drone from inside Russia using the hidden shipping containers. Now, why is this so important? Because air defense systems are built to stop threats from outside, not from inside. And this method makes many old defense ideas outdated now. And the simplicity of the attack, which means that any country or a group could do it. So it shows that even powerful militaries like Russia's can be surprised and vulnerable if they do not keep up with the new technology. So gradually this drone warfare is changing and how wars are fought remotely, precisely, as well as often autonomously. So let's try to understand this drone warfare और future कैसा होगा, है ना? How it started, who is going to lead and where it is going. And the biggest benefit of drone is its ease to use. जी हाँ, it is easy to use. So drone warfare means using unmanned aerial vehicles in military operations. And these machines can strike, these machines can spy or jam enemy's system without putting a pilot in danger. That is why there is a brief history of drone warfare. जी हाँ, अब एक थोड़ा सा हिस्टोरिकल बैकग्राउंड देख लेते हैं ड्रोन वॉरफेयर का. 1849. तो आइए हम समझते हैं 1849. Now, as you can see here on your screen, 1849. Now, what happened in 1849? Unmanned balloons dropped bombs on Venice. 1849 की बात की जा रही है. Unmanned balloons dropped, है ना, dropped bombs on Venice. Then Second World War की अगर हम बात करें, in Second World War, Nazi Germany built V1 flying balloons as well as bombs, है ना. In Second World War, Nazi Germany built V1 flying bombs. V1 flying bombs नाजी जर्मनी ने बनाए थे, है ना. Then in 2002, first US drone strike in Yemen region. So these are some historical events where drone kind of thing was used, है ना. Now, how many types of military drones are there? So how many types of military drones are there? So first let me tell you, reconnaissance drones. पहला जो होता है वो reconnaissance drone होते हैं. Second, armed drones. Third, kamikaze drones, है ना, which is used for loitering the munitions, loitering munitions. Then logistic drones are there. Another type of drone is electronic warfare drones. चलो ठीक है, different types of drones are there, that is true. How drones are used in the war, है ना, how these drones are used in the war. First let me tell you, drones helps in real time surveillance. एक तो सर्विलांस में हेल्प करते हैं. Drones gives precision strikes. They also useful in GPS jamming as well as hacking, है ना. They also provide supply drops, then swarm attacks as well as decoys. So overall if you see, it is kind of modus operandi. कैसे? अब इस चीज को समझिएगा. ड्रोन्स जो होते हैं, drones are controlled remotely via satellite or autonomously. They use GPS system, they use sensors as well as now AI for navigation, for surveillance and target engagement. Now drones can be controlled anywhere. Like yesterday Ukraine operated them from the farm fields, है ना. So who are the top drone powers in warfare? तो अब top drone powers कौन कौन सी है warfare में? So सबसे पहले अगर मैं नाम लूं, USA. जी हां, यूएसए के पास क्या है? MQ-9 Reaper, RQ-4 Global Hawk. चाइना Wing Loom 2, टर्की Bayraktar TB2, इजराइल Heron Harov drone, रशिया Orion, है ना, and Lancet drones. These are some important powers. Now, who are top drone manufacturing countries? अगर हम top drone manufacturing countries की बात करें, US, China, Israel, Turkey, Iran, and each of these has developed as well as deployed drones domestically as well as for export. Now, what is India's position in this? अब इंडिया की पोजीशन इन सभी चीजों में क्या है, तो आइए समझते हैं इंडिया की ड्रोन इंडस्ट्री के बारे में. India is a growing drone power and it operates important drones like Heron, हमने कहां से लिया? इजराइल से. MQ-9B we have taken from US, and India is also developing its own drone like Rustam, Nagastra, then Sky Striker as well as Tapas. All these drones India is making domestically. Okay, now with respect to this मेड इन इंडिया प्रोग्राम, अगर हम मेड इन इंडिया प्रोग्राम की बात करें, सो इंडिया इज स्पेंडिंग लॉट ऑफ एफर्ट्स टू बिकम ड्रोन सुपर पावर, एंड इंडियाज ड्रोन शक्ति एज वेल एज PLI scheme. So these scheme aim to boost the local production. Also, startups like IdeaForge and firms like HAL, they are investing in military UAV. Clear? They are investing in military UAVs. Now, what is the current annual production? If you see, 10,803. Now, what is the future target? 60,000. Now, what is the role of AI in drone warfare? अब AI का रोल क्या है ड्रोन वॉरफेयर में? सबसे पहला रोल है टारगेट रिकॉग्निशन, देन इंडिपेंडेंट फ्लाइट पाथ, थर्ड स्वार्म कोऑर्डिनेशन, एंड देन रियल टाइम थ्रेट रेस्पॉन्स. So this AI will make drones faster, deadlier as well as smarter within the minimal human control. So what is next? अब बचा क्या है next? Underwater drone for naval ops. This is the next, underwater drones for naval ops. That is satellite controlled high altitude drones, drone on drone dog fights, है ना? Then fully autonomous missions. ये सारी चीजें अगला डेवलपमेंट हो सकता है. Now, what are the ethical concerns? Civilian casualties from drone strike, है ना? And there is no direct accountability. Machine making kill decisions, है ना? So this raises serious questions about the rules of engagement as well as international law. Now, drones are transforming the battlefields from Ukraine to Gaza. Traditional air forces now they compete with cheap effective drone fleets. Firepower is going digital now, and the age of drone warfare has arrived. So victory may no longer go to the strongest army, but to the side with better code, faster processors as well as smarter machines. So overall अगर हम drones की बात कर ही रहे हैं, so if you go through the 100 years ago, a single machine gun could stop an army. Now, if you go to 80 years ago, now Blitzkrieg, है ना, Blitzkrieg tactics which was used by Germany, that had shattered the fortified empires. Now in 2025, it only takes a few $100 as well as a drone to bring down the bomber fleet. So the battlefield is not just changing, it is disappearing. समझ में आ रहा है? That is why the front lines are no longer at the borders. They could be at your backyard, your city, your sky. So this is no longer the story of nations alone. It is a story of how technology democratized destruction and how even non-state actors now hold military grade power in their hands. But the question is no longer that what is the next big weapon, है ना? But the real question क्या होगा? Are we prepared for a world where anyone can wield it? So if this video blew your mind, then share this video, drop a comment as well as subscribe Legacy IAS Academy for more eye-opening insights that connect past, present as well as the future in the most unexpected ways. Because this is not just a lesson in history, this is a warning about tomorrow. So this was there in the editorial in Indian Express. So I hope this much is clear to all of you. Thank you so much.